I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Eric Westreich. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
It's just getting night here in San Diego, which is always exciting. I'm in downtown, which starts coming alive about now.
Interesting. Yeah, well, it's 8 p.m. here, so it's night. It's been night for a bit. It's definitely a great pleasure to connect with you, Eric. I'd like to know which of your talents that you've been operating in is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Well, I generally like to help people get their stories clear, help them tell those stories through content, and then help people share those stories so they find the people who need to capture their attention, emotionally connect with, and understand. And one of the outreaches that I do for the community is doing that for the San Diego startup community. So you're probably Startup Show San Diego, where we connect and promote the startup community.
Yeah, that was definitely fun listening to that. You were doing an amazing job by highlighting what was going on at the San Diego Startup Show, which is pretty intriguing, like pretty intriguing stuff there. Who did you learn that skill from, Eric?
I have so many skills. I tend to look at really complex things and continue to look at centers of gravity and how they're connected. So there's so many marketing pieces of that, and media pieces, and branding and storytelling. So, you can even start with Simon Sinek, start with why.
Yeah, you've definitely done a great job. Definitely. It reminds me of the guy who is behind the scenes. Like all the things are moving, right? But you see one thing and you say, hey, that's easy, right? Like, how challenging is that? But there's so much going on.
Well, that's why I'm excited about what you're doing. You are telling people, what I'm really passionate about is getting big stories, making them clear and getting them heard. And you're finding people with big stories and sharing them. So you're doing most of the work here, not me.
Yeah, well, today you get to rest, right? You get to rest and just relax, right? And have the conversation. So it's fun. I'd like to add one thing, though, to what you're saying. I really believe big stories is definitely the uniqueness that each person holds. And I don't think there's any one bigger than the other. Is that fair?
My definition of a big story is one that makes a difference. So anybody who's trying to make a difference is a big story. So big story isn't so much in volume or, to me, even impact. It's so hard to make any kind of difference, to make a change in the world. So anybody who's doing that and can successfully make a positive change, to me, that's a big story.
Yeah, and I'm glad you clarified that, because that's what I got when you were sharing your conversations, right? So you understand the value, as you said. It's really challenging to highlight, to make a big difference, right? Why will you continue that? Nevertheless, Eric, why will you continue to repeat the skills that you do to bring that forward?
I can't help it. What I've always been driven to do is help government, industry, and academia solve problems by delivering technology faster. That's my background with the Navy and high-tech corporate and things like that, startup community. And when I hear somebody who's trying to make a difference and articulate, I can't help. Almost every day we work with them and just can't help it.
Yeah. Well, tell me one other thing, Eric, you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Planning. Almost every day I look at big, complex things and look for what's important about them and how they fit together, and it just gets clearer and clearer every day. So I work for things over a long time, so it's really that sitting down and planning that I think is important.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel frustrated sometimes, because when you start, it's so unclear and people are saying, I don't know what you're talking about. But then when you get to the point where it gets so clear that somebody else takes that idea and runs it better than you do, that's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah. Wow, Eric, I could speak to you for hours. I'm holding back every corner, every nook and cranny in the conversation. Suggest to someone out there, Eric, why they should do what you've done by really connecting your passion with your purpose.
Well, I think the part of looking for where people make a difference and jump in and make a difference, I think that's really something anybody can do, and it makes a difference for all of us. When it comes to try and make the change and put complex things together, I don't know that I recommend it to people because it's really hard. It's kind of like Arthur Schopenhauer, German philosopher, is most often quoted as saying, all truth goes through three phases. First, it is ridiculed, then it is violently opposed, and then it becomes self-evident, meaning that's a stupid idea, it'll never work, we have to stop it, and oh yeah, of course, that's how we do it. It's pretty draining unless you have the real passion and drive to do it.
Yeah. Amazing audience. We are live with Eric Westreich. Do check him out. Hey, he is the podcast host of Startup lots of S in there. Startup Show San Diego. Right. Again, do check them out. Where would you send them if they needed to connect with you, Eric?
They can go to our webpage, startupshowsd.com, or they can even find us on YouTube at Startup Show San Diego. That's our channel. And then Startup Show SD everywhere else, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Wonderful. Well, Eric, let's switch gears for a moment now. The fun time begins. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Eric, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I can remember crawling out of a bed that was really more than a crib because I had to climb over it, going into the kitchen, opening the refrigerator to get some juice. And I can also remember about the same as standing at the end of a hallway looking into a garage and watching it rain in the garage on my dad's printing press.
Wow. How old do you think you were in the two of them?
I would say they're both at the same time. Both, I would imagine.
After you got the drink, you went to the garage, or was that two separate things?
It was probably within the same time frame, within a few days or a week.
Okay. Yeah, how old do you think you were?
I would say probably less than 3.
Wow. So why do you think this memory is so clear?
No idea.
Okay.
But it's not something you normally expect to see it raining outside.
Yeah. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Please do.
All the pieces of the puzzle come together, and you are the guy that does that. And it's fascinating to see how it occurred from thought to going to do, which is so important. And then the third thing, if you would, the realization of there's more, right? So, you spoke of the philosopher, I can't remember his name, but the 3 aspects that something goes through, right? The first was ridicule. What was the second? Say it again, please.
Violent opposition. Right. We have to stop it.
Yeah. So you had to get out of the bed, right? And the second thing, ridicule, right?
Ridicule is first, yeah.
Okay.
That's a stupid idea, it'll never work. And then when it starts working, people say, well, we have to stop it, it's bad.
Yeah,
and then everybody goes, of course. And it's anything, social, technical, any change.
Yeah. So it's just fascinating how that connects, the three processes. Like, you got up, of course, why is he getting out of the bed? Oh, right. You get the drink, and then you look out, right? I mean, everyone is meditating with rain falling drops songs, right? I'm just joking.
It's a great sound.
It is amazing.
Rain is awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, and water flowing. But yeah, Eric, it's just fascinating how that connects, in that now you are the individual that are making all of the pieces come together to get the end product, which is value. Yeah, that's me there.
Very good.
If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I have no idea.
All right. It happens. You're good. It happens. All right. Well, we've arrived.
Well, I remember.
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh, I remember starting to try and play guitar. I just can't remember what I was playing then that I liked so much.
Yeah, it's cool. It happens. All right, my friend. We've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Eric?
Let's go.
Eric, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
My partner and mentor is a young guy in his 20s who used to be an intern. And if you don't have somebody younger than you as a mentor, you're losing out.
Love that. Are you married?
I am.
Do you have children?
2 boys.
Do you believe in God?
I think the search for something greater is amazing. It's interesting to me how many different versions of that there are.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do. People that I can tell things to that I can't tell anyone else.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Probably. I'm on the computer and phone all the time.
Yeah. I would guess so with the job you do, most definitely. So I had 1,001 conversations, right, Eric, in 3 months in 2016. And after that, I created a workbook. The name of it is called Yours. I think that represents the value of the conversations, your own unique real self. And the idea is, as you answer questions, you connect to your mission, aka your own unique real statement. If you had to share with us, though, your version, your own unique real statement, your mission, if you would, something that represents Eric Westreich, what would you say that is?
It's really about helping people that are changing the world get clear on their stories, tell those stories and share those stories so that they break through internet noise and find who needs to pay attention and emotionally connect and understand.
Love it. Like the sweet sounding drops of rain. Love it. Eric Westreich, hey, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
For those that are making a difference, I would like to thank you for getting up every day and doing that, such as yourself with this podcast. It's an amazing thing.
I appreciate it. Eric Westreich, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.